Have you ever felt like no matter how hard you try, some people just refuse to see your worth? Have you ever bent over backward to impress someone, only to be left feeling drained and unappreciated? Why do we seek validation from those who don't truly care about us? And more importantly, how do we break free from this cycle? Before we dive deep into this crucial topic, make sure to hit the like button, share this with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe to the channel so you never miss out on powerful, life-changing content. Now, let's get started. 1. The trap of seeking approval. We all crave recognition. It's human nature. From childhood, we learn that being accepted by others gives us a sense of belonging. But what happens when we start seeking approval from the wrong people? The ones who belittle us, ignore our efforts, or only acknowledge us when it benefits them. The trap of seeking approval is a dangerous one that can consume our happiness, distort our self-perception, and leave us feeling emotionally drained. The need for approval often stems from early experiences. Maybe you grew up in a household where praise was scarce, and you learned to equate love with achievement. Maybe school reinforced the idea that your worth was tied to grades, awards, or popularity. Over time, this mindset carries into adulthood, where we subconsciously seek validation from colleagues, friends, and even strangers. We adapt our behaviors, shift our personalities, and suppress our true selves just to fit the mold of what we think others want us to be. But in doing so, we lose touch with our own desires, values, and sense of identity. We become performers in our own lives, constantly adjusting ourselves to fit different roles, exhausting our emotional energy in the process. Seeking validation isn't inherently bad. It's natural to want to be appreciated, loved, and acknowledged. The problem arises when we place too much importance on external approval, allowing it to dictate our self-worth. When you seek validation from people who don't truly appreciate you, you hand them power over your emotions. You give them control over your self-esteem. And no matter how much you try, their approval will always be conditional, dangling just out of reach, leaving you chasing after it endlessly. You begin to doubt yourself, wondering if you will ever be enough, if you will ever do enough. The reality is, this chase is futile and emotionally draining. This endless chase leads to a cycle of self-doubt and frustration. You might find yourself over-explaining your actions, overworking to prove your worth, or even tolerating mistreatment just to be accepted. You may ignore your own feelings, silencing your inner voice in favor of external praise. This suppression of your authentic self can lead to anxiety, resentment, and an overall sense of emptiness. You might wake up one day realizing that you built a life based on pleasing others, rather than one that reflects your true desires and values. But here's the harsh truth. If someone doesn't appreciate you for who you are, no amount of effort will change that. People who genuinely value you will recognize your worth without you having to beg for their validation. You don't need to mold yourself into someone else's expectations to be worthy of respect and love. Your value exists regardless of external recognition. Breaking free from the trap of seeking approval starts with self-awareness. Ask yourself, why do I seek validation from others? Who am I trying to impress? And why does their opinion matter so much to me? Is their approval really necessary for my happiness? Once you identify these patterns, you can begin the process of letting go. Instead of wasting energy trying to impress the wrong people, it's time to shift focus and recognize your own value. Start by affirming yourself. Develop a sense of self-acceptance that isn't dependent on external praise. Practice self-compassion. Treat yourself with the kindness and understanding you would offer a close friend. Learn to validate yourself instead of seeking it from others. Journaling, self-reflection, and mindfulness can be powerful tools in this journey. Surround yourself with people who uplift you rather than those who make you feel like you have to prove your worth. Build relationships based on mutual respect and appreciation, not on the need to constantly earn approval. Invest in your own happiness by pursuing passions and interests that bring you fulfillment, regardless of whether others acknowledge them or not. When you focus on doing things that bring you joy and align with your personal values, external validation becomes secondary. Furthermore, set boundaries with those who drain your energy. Not everyone deserves access to your emotional space. Learn to say no to situations and relationships that make you feel unworthy. Protect your mental and emotional well-being by choosing carefully who you allow into your inner circle. It's okay to walk away from people who refuse to see your value. It doesn't mean you are unworthy. It simply means you are prioritizing your own well-being. The truth is, no amount of external validation will ever be enough if you don't first believe in yourself. Real confidence comes from within, not from the approval of others. The moment you stop seeking validation from the wrong people is the moment you set yourself free. Your worth isn't determined by the opinions of those who fail to see your value. It's determined by how you see yourself. So let go of the need to prove yourself, embrace who you are, and take back control of your own happiness. Remember, self-worth isn't something you earn. It's something you already possess. The sooner you recognize and embrace that truth, the freer and more fulfilled you will become. 2. The emotional cost of proving yourself. Trying to prove yourself to the wrong people is exhausting. It drains your energy, causes stress, and leaves you questioning your own worth. You start to wonder, am I not good enough? Am I doing something wrong? This constant need for validation can lead to anxiety, depression, and even burnout. The cycle is relentless. You work harder, push yourself further, and strive to meet impossible expectations, only to feel even more unfulfilled when the recognition you seek never arrives. You begin to measure your self-worth by external approval, allowing others to dictate how you feel about yourself. The worst part? The more you try to prove yourself, the less respect you get. People who don't appreciate you will never truly acknowledge your efforts. They see your need for approval as a weakness and use it to their advantage. You may find yourself in one-sided relationships where you give more than you receive, or in workplaces where your contributions go unnoticed while others take credit for your work. The harder you try to earn their approval, the more they withhold it, reinforcing the painful belief that you must work even harder to be seen and valued. This leads to an endless cycle of overworking, overcompensating, and still feeling unseen. Think about it. Have you ever tried to impress a boss, friend, or romantic partner, only to feel ignored or unappreciated? It's a painful experience. The emotional toll of constantly trying to prove yourself to those who refuse to acknowledge your worth can be overwhelming. You may start doubting your skills, questioning your personality, or even changing aspects of yourself to fit into someone else's expectations. But no matter how much you adapt, it never seems to be enough. The approval you crave remains just out of reach, leaving you feeling invisible and powerless. Over time, this emotional struggle can manifest in different ways. Some people become people pleasers, constantly sacrificing their own needs to satisfy others. Others develop deep resentment, carrying bitterness toward those who fail to recognize their efforts. Some simply shut down, withdrawing from relationships and opportunities altogether, convinced that nothing they do will ever be enough. This emotional exhaustion doesn't just affect your relationships. It can spill into your personal happiness, career growth, and overall well-being. Chronic stress from seeking approval can also impact your physical health. The anxiety and pressure can lead to fatigue, headaches, insomnia, and even a weakened immune system. You may find yourself emotionally drained, struggling to concentrate, and lacking motivation. Over time, this can affect your performance at work, your interactions with loved ones, and your ability to enjoy life. But here's the truth. You don't need to prove yourself to anyone who refuses to see your value. People who genuinely appreciate you won't require you to jump through hoops for their approval. They will recognize your worth naturally, without conditions or endless tests of loyalty. The key is shifting your focus away from those who drain your energy and toward those who uplift and support you. Instead of exhausting yourself trying to win over those who don't care, focus on strengthening the connections with those who do. One of the most effective ways to break free from this cycle is self-validation. When you start acknowledging your own efforts and successes, you no longer feel the need to seek approval from others. Confidence comes from within, not from external validation. Recognize your own worth by celebrating your achievements, big or small. Reflect on your growth and the challenges you've overcome. Start practicing positive self-affirmation. Remind yourself that your value isn't based on how much you can prove to others, but on who you are as a person. Learn to appreciate yourself, independent of external opinions. Keeping a journal of your accomplishments and personal growth can help you see your progress and remind you that you don't need validation from others to be worthy. Surround yourself with people who appreciate you as you are, not those who demand you change to fit their mold. Set boundaries with those who take advantage of your need for approval. Learn to say no without guilt. Recognize that you don't have to explain yourself or justify your worth. Most importantly, remind yourself that your value is not determined by how much you impress others, but by the person you are and the impact you make. Let go of the exhausting need to prove yourself. Instead, invest in becoming the best version of yourself, not for them, but for you. Focus on your passions, goals, and self-development. Live in a way that brings you joy, fulfillment, and peace, rather than constantly chasing after someone else's validation. The moment you stop proving yourself to the wrong people, you begin to create a life that is truly your own. 3. Recognizing the wrong people. One of the most important lessons in life is understanding who deserves your energy and who does not. Often, we find ourselves trying to prove our worth to people who will never truly appreciate us. Whether in personal relationships, friendships, or professional settings, recognizing those who do not genuinely support or value you is crucial to your growth and peace of mind. The more time and effort you spend trying to impress the wrong people, the more energy you drain from yourself. Energy that could be used to nurture your self-worth and build authentic relationships. So, how do you identify the people you should never try to prove yourself to? Here are a few key signs. The constant critics. These individuals never seem to be satisfied with what you do. No matter how hard you try or how much effort you put into your work, they always find something negative to say. Constructive criticism is essential for growth, but these critics rarely offer anything constructive. Instead, they thrive on pointing out flaws, often in a way that undermines your confidence. Their comments are not meant to help you improve, but rather to diminish your sense of accomplishment. Constant critics can come in many forms. A boss who never acknowledges your hard work, a family member who belittles your achievements, or a friend who downplays your success. Their words often leave you questioning whether your efforts are ever good enough. The key to dealing with them is recognizing that their negativity often has more to do with their own insecurities than with your actual performance. Understanding this allows you to stop seeking their approval and instead focus on constructive feedback from those who truly want to see you succeed. A crucial step in overcoming the influence of constant critics is learning to separate valuable feedback from baseless negativity. Constructive criticism comes with solutions, while criticism for the sake of it leaves you feeling drained and unmotivated. The more you prioritize self-improvement over external validation, the easier it becomes to ignore unnecessary negativity. The indifferent, these are the people who simply do not care about your achievements, no matter how significant they may be. You could reach a major milestone, accomplish a lifelong goal, or even overcome a significant challenge, and their reaction remains the same: indifference. While it's unrealistic to expect everyone to celebrate your victories, a lack of acknowledgement from those you care about could be a sign that they are not truly invested in your well-being. Indifferent people can drain your energy by making you feel invisible. Over time, their lack of interest can lead you to question your worth, making you seek validation where it may never come. The best way to handle such individuals is to accept their nature and stop expecting recognition from them. Instead, focus on surrounding yourself with those who celebrate your growth and share in your joy. Indifference is often more damaging than outright negativity because it creates a silent void. When your efforts are met with apathy, it can feel as though they don't matter at all. Recognizing that some people are simply incapable of showing support allows you to detach emotionally and focus your energy on relationships that enrich your life. The conditional supporters. These people are only in your corner when it benefits them. Their support is temporary, often self-serving, and disappears the moment they no longer have anything to gain from you. They may act as though they have your best interests at heart, but their actions reveal otherwise. A common example of a conditional supporter is a friend who only acknowledges your successes when it elevates their own status, or a colleague who praises you when they need something from you, but ignores you otherwise. The moment you face difficulties or no longer serve their interests, they vanish. Identifying conditional supporters helps you redirect your energy toward those who are with you through thick and thin, rather than those who only appear when it's convenient. One of the most telling signs of a conditional supporter is inconsistency. If someone is only enthusiastic about your achievements when there is an audience or when they can benefit from associating with your success, they are not truly invested in your journey. By recognizing this pattern, you can stop wasting time on one-sided relationships and start building deeper connections with those who genuinely care. The manipulators. Manipulators are among the most toxic people you can encounter. They constantly shift the goalposts, making you feel as if you are never enough. No matter how much you achieve, they always find a way to devalue it and make you feel like you need to do more. Their tactics keep you chasing their approval, which they will never truly grant. Manipulators thrive on control. They make you believe that your worth is dependent on their validation. They may say things like, "You did well, but you could have done better," or "That's great, but it's not as impressive as what someone else did." These subtle comments keep you feeling inadequate, which in turn keeps you seeking their approval. Breaking free from manipulators requires recognizing their tactics and refusing to engage in their games. Understand that your worth is not defined by their shifting standards. Once you detach yourself from their control, you regain the power to set your own standards and expectations for success. One of the biggest challenges with manipulators is that their tactics are often subtle. They may not openly criticize you, but will instead undermine your confidence through backhanded compliments or passive-aggressive remarks. Learning to identify these behaviors empowers you to step away from toxic dynamics and reclaim your sense of self-worth. Moving forward, recognizing these types of people in your life is crucial. Sometimes they are close friends, family members, or even mentors, people whose opinions you once valued. Accepting that some people you care about may not truly value you is difficult, but it is the first step toward freeing yourself from their influence. Once you identify them, you can stop wasting your energy on those who do not genuinely support you. Instead, invest in yourself. Focus on personal growth. Pursue your passions, and surround yourself with individuals who uplift you. True supporters celebrate your successes, offer constructive feedback, and encourage you to be your best self. Your time and energy are valuable. Don't waste them trying to prove yourself to the wrong people. Focus on those who appreciate and recognize your worth without conditions or hidden motives. By doing so, you will create a life filled with positivity, growth, and meaningful connections. Most importantly, remember that your value is not determined by the opinions of those who fail to see it. True confidence comes within, and when you start believing in yourself, the need for external validation diminishes. The moment you stop trying to prove yourself to the wrong people, you create space for the right ones to enter your life. 4. Shifting your mindset. Breaking free from a need to prove yourself starts with a mindset shift. It's a journey of self-discovery, self-acceptance, and inner confidence. Many of us have been conditioned to seek validation from external sources, whether through achievements, relationships, or social recognition. However, true freedom comes when you realize that your worth is intrinsic and not tied to anyone else's perception of you. Here's how you can cultivate this transformation. Realize your worth is inherent. Your value is not determined by external achievements, job titles, income, or social status. It is inherent within you. From a young age, society teaches us to measure our worth based on comparisons. Who is smarter, wealthier, or more successful? However, this way of thinking is flawed because it forces you into a never-ending cycle of proving yourself. The truth is, you are enough as you are. Your existence alone makes you valuable. No amount of external validation can define you more than your own belief in yourself. Instead of chasing approval, remind yourself daily that your worth does not need justification. Practice affirmations that reinforce this idea. I am enough. I am valuable. My worth is not defined by others. Validate yourself first. Self-validation is a crucial step in shifting your mindset. Instead of relying on praise from others to feel good about yourself, learn to recognize and celebrate your own achievements. Think about the challenges you've overcome, the progress you've made, and the skills you've developed. One effective way to do this is to keep a journal. Each day, write down at least 3 things you accomplished, no matter how small they may seem. Over time, this practice rewires your brain to seek validation from within rather than from external sources. When you feel the urge to look for approval from others, pause and ask yourself, what do I think about this? Am I proud of myself? Your opinion should hold the most weight in your life. Surround yourself with the right people. The people you surround yourself with have a significant impact on your mindset. If you are constantly around individuals who belittle you or make you feel like you need to prove yourself, it will be much harder to break free from that cycle. Seek out those who genuinely appreciate and support you. People who uplift you, encourage your growth, and celebrate your victories without competition or jealousy. A strong support system fosters a healthier mindset. Let go of relationships that drain your energy or make you question your worth. Instead, cultivate meaningful connections with people who see you for who you truly are and accept you without conditions. Learn to walk away. Not everyone deserves access to your energy. If someone consistently makes you feel unworthy or like you have to prove yourself to earn their respect, it may be time to walk away. Letting go of toxic relationships, negative environments, or unhealthy habits can be challenging, but it's necessary for your well-being. Setting boundaries is a crucial aspect of this. Learn to say no without guilt and protect your peace. Walking away from situations that no longer serve you is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of strength. It shows that you respect yourself enough to choose better for your life. Practice gratitude and self-compassion. A key component of shifting your mindset is embracing gratitude and self-compassion. Instead of focusing on what you lack or what others think of you, shift your focus to appreciating what you already have. Each day, take a moment to reflect on the positive aspects of your life, your experiences, your relationships, your growth. Gratitude rewires your mind to see abundance rather than scarcity. Additionally, be kind to yourself. You are human, and you will have moments of self-doubt. That's okay. The important thing is to recognize those moments and remind yourself that you are doing your best. Speak to yourself with the same kindness and encouragement that you would offer to a close friend. Shifting your mindset doesn't happen overnight. It requires conscious effort, patience, and self-awareness. But with time, you will notice a transformation, a newfound sense of confidence, freedom, and inner peace. Breaking free from the need for validation allows you to live authentically and for yourself rather than for the approval of others. You owe it to yourself to embrace this journey and step into the best version of who you are. 5. Living authentically without seeking validation. Once you stop trying to prove yourself to the wrong people, you'll feel a sense of freedom like never before. You'll make decisions based on what's right for you, not based on what will impress others. You'll start living life on your terms, without the weight of unnecessary expectations. Instead of constantly measuring your worth by the reactions of those around you, you'll begin to experience true self-confidence, a feeling that stems from inner assurance rather than external approval. Living authentically means embracing who you are without fear of judgment. It means pursuing your goals, passions, and interests without worrying about external approval. The key is to focus on becoming the best version of yourself, not to prove something to others, but because you deserve to live a life that's true to you. This means understanding your own values, needs, and aspirations and having the courage to act on them, even if they go against societal norms or expectations. For many, the need for validation starts early in life. From childhood, we are conditioned to seek approval from parents, teachers, and peers. We are taught that success is measured by external achievements, grades, awards, social status, and accolades. While external validation can be rewarding, relying on it for self-worth can lead to a life dictated by the opinions of others rather than your own desires and values. When you prioritize what others think of you, you risk losing sight of your own goals and dreams. The fear of disapproval can become a silent force that holds you back from reaching your true potential. Breaking free from the need for validation requires self-awareness. It involves recognizing when you are making decisions based on how they will be perceived rather than what truly aligns with your inner self. Ask yourself, are you choosing a career path because it excites you or because it impresses your family? Are you staying in a social circle because you genuinely connect with those people or because you fear judgment if you walk away? Examining your choices honestly will help you understand whether they are truly yours or shaped by external expectations. When you stop living for validation, you gain clarity on what truly matters to you. You begin to make choices that align with your values and aspirations rather than what society deems acceptable. You prioritize your mental and emotional well-being over pleasing others. This shift can feel uncomfortable at first, especially if you have spent years trying to meet expectations that weren't your own. However, the longer you commit to living authentically, the more liberating it becomes. With time, you will realize that the most fulfilling experiences come from embracing your true self rather than conforming to what others want you to be. Authenticity is not about disregarding feedback or being indifferent to others' opinions. Rather, it's about distinguishing between constructive input and approval-seeking behavior. It's healthy to seek guidance and perspective from those you respect, but ultimately, the decisions about your life should be made by you for you. The people who truly care about you will support your choices, even if they differ from their own expectations. True friends and loved ones will respect your need to follow your own path, even if it doesn't align with their personal beliefs or desires for you. One of the most significant aspects of living authentically is learning to trust yourself. Self-trust develops when you listen to your intuition, honor your feelings, and make choices that align with your core values. The more you practice self-trust, the less you'll feel the need to seek validation from external sources. Confidence comes from knowing that you are enough, just as you are, without the need for constant approval. This means embracing your strengths and weaknesses, understanding that you don't have to be perfect to be worthy of respect and love. Letting go of the need for validation also fosters deeper, more meaningful relationships. When you show up as your true self, you attract people who appreciate and respect you for who you are rather than who you pretend to be. Authentic connections are built on honesty, vulnerability, and mutual respect, rather than on maintaining a facade to gain acceptance. When you stop seeking validation, you give others permission to do the same, creating relationships that are based on genuine connection rather than superficial approval. Another crucial aspect of living authentically is the ability to handle criticism without letting it define you. When you no longer seek validation, you become more resilient to the judgments and opinions of others. Not everyone will understand or support your choices, and that's okay. When you accept that disapproval is a natural part of life, you free yourself from the fear of rejection. Instead of changing yourself to fit someone else's standards, you stand firm in your own truth, knowing that your worth isn't determined by outside opinions. At the end of the day, your happiness and fulfillment come from within. The sooner you stop chasing validation from others, the sooner you can fully embrace the life you were meant to live. By focusing on what brings you joy, what aligns with your values, and what makes you feel alive, you create a life that is rich in authenticity, purpose, and true contentment. Your journey toward authenticity is not about proving yourself to anyone. It's about honoring yourself in every aspect of your life, making choices that nourish your soul, and embracing the freedom that comes with being unapologetically you. True success and happiness come from within. When you shift your focus from external validation to self-acceptance, you cultivate confidence, resilience, and a strong sense of self-worth. You'll attract the right people into your life, those who appreciate you for who you are, not what you can prove. So, ask yourself, are you living to impress others, or are you living for yourself? If you found this message valuable, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Let's continue to grow and empower each other to live authentically. See you in the next video.